Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from Central Europe. I hope everybody is having a fantastic week so far and looking forward to being productive and successful in your studies and in life. Hi Gozal, hi Aslidin, Dostornbeck, Black Pink Blink. Good to see many students in the class. It's fantastic to have you here with me and ready to study for the IELTS speaking section. We will be focusing on part 1 of the speaking section with some practice and strategy, and we're going to discuss on what you need to really pay attention to start with a band 9 in the IELTS. I saw a couple of our members in the class as well. It's fantastic to have you here with me. Students, as usual, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS success, definitely visit us there. And for the general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of our websites, we have lots and lots of materials, videos, original exams, and professionals ready to help you with all sections of the IELTS. We are one of the most successful IELTS training companies in the world. So it's good to visit us. This is a speaking class, everyone, so make sure to speak and repeat. Okay, it's very important. It's great that you're using the chat and you're expressing yourself. When you type answers, comments into the chat, say them as well. So use your English, say them as well. Hi, Byron. Hi, Elite. Nice to see our members in the class with us. I'm just going to show you our websites and where you can practice speaking for free. So this is the academic website here at aehelp.com. It's the blue background. Click that big red button to join our premium package. This is our general IELTS website. We separate the two. We're one of the only companies that separates academic and general into two websites. We feel that this is a good idea. It's different purpose, different market. Click that red button to join the premium package there. Hi, Jatinder, Priyanka, welcome aboard. All right, everyone. So I'll show you where you can study or find some speaking partners for the IELTS and practice for free. Okay. So you can try our website for free by clicking the green Try Demo button. And then you can click this My Student account once you have an account, of course. And then you'll have this My Student account. And then when you're in your My Student account, you have access to a lot of materials. There's our QR code for the mobile app as well. You can just aim your camera at that QR code and get the mobile app also. And then there's this Student Partner Speaking. And when you click on that Student Partner Speaking, you'll get directed to this page here. And this is our speaking page. And you'll always find 2, 5, 10 more students here waiting for someone to join a chat with them. So somebody just exited. Here's George. George is waiting for somebody to audio or video chat, or you can text George and then start chatting with George. And there's always someone in there. Sajita just joined up. And you also have questions. You can click on these and get some questions for the speaking question section. And that's absolutely free, and you can use that on both the academic and the general website. Okay, and it's totally free. So make sure to do that. Practice with other students. So I can teach you a lot of different strategies, but at the end of the day, as the saying goes, practice makes perfect. And everybody needs to do that, including even native speakers of a language should practice higher and higher level communication. Okay, if you ever have questions, students, by all means, send me an email. I welcome it. Adrian@aehelp.com. Just send me an email there, and I will respond in due time. We have a full week of live classes ahead of us. Today we have this speaking part 1 class. Tomorrow we'll have reading and then we'll have some writing for everyone and some more reading. We'll have a Q&A session for members. So Nick Hill and other members that are in here today, start thinking about your questions for your Q&A class this week. And of course, we'll have some more speaking. All right, let's get into some speaking. So the IELTS speaking section has become quite interesting, especially this past year with COVID. Of course, the IELTS exam, they're trying to do everything they can to protect the candidates, protect the examiners' health. So you have the face-to-face interview in some places. In most places, you are having to wear a mask. We have a couple of videos on our website in HD that talks about that. In some places like China, you actually have a shield, like a piece of transparent plastic between you and the examiner. And in many places now, I believe in many parts of India and other places, they're doing the speaking interview through the computer. It's still live. You're still speaking with a live examiner. You don't do it from home. Okay, it's not the same as the IELTS indicator exam. You have to go to the test center where they have a computer station for you to do the speaking. Okay, so there's that version as well, and that's why it's good to use our websites, because that gives you a really good feeling for that version. Okay, all right. Mohammed, the speaking is usually done on a different day, oftentimes, or several hours after or before the sit-down test. So they give you a different time for the speaking interview. With the computer-based speaking exam, Mohammed, it can be right after your exam, okay? So you have to check the time and the date. Now, if you're doing the computer, if you applied for your IELTS exam and you're doing a computer-based speaking section, many students actually get 2 chances for the interview. The first chance is just a trial because it's a new system. They're still kind of beta testing this. So many students get a chance to do a trial session. Make sure you pay attention to that. I know a lot of students have missed their chance for the trial session. Is everybody clear on that, on what I just said there? We got a lot of emails from students and said, oh, I missed my trial session. Can I ask them to do it again? No, if you missed it, you missed that chance. So make sure, okay? All right. Nadia, if you joined our full course, that's great. Send me an email and I will let you know exactly what you can do. Okay. Nadia, to get membership on YouTube, you have to go through YouTube. Okay. All right. So I see that some of you are saying, yes, I see that. Okay. All right. Yeah. Paula says, in my country, the IELTS exam centers are closed. Okay. Yeah, in some places they are. Okay, there's a lot of different situations, Paula. If you have some questions, let me know and I'll help you out, all right? Okay, so let's get into some speaking practice, everyone. So again, speak and repeat. So whether you're meeting your examiner through the computer, through face-to-face interaction with a mask, or with a mask and a shield, you have to be confident, you have to be well practiced, and you have to follow some strategy. And we'll talk about that after we warm up a bit, okay? So first, let's warm up. The examiner is going to meet you, get you comfortable. They will greet you and say, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. It has 3 parts. I'll give you instructions for each, and I will record this for marking purposes. Firstly, may I see your identification? It's their first question. They need to make sure that you are who you say you are. So have an answer for this. Sound natural, confident, and fluent, okay? Try not to sound nervous, even if you feel a bit nervous, all right? Okay, Mohammed says, yes, certainly. Here's my passport that I used to register for the exam. Please have a look. Mohammed, that's a really nice, smooth answer. Just say it fluently and you'll be fine. Ois says, absolutely. This is my ID card I used to register for the IELTS exam. Please take a look. Okay, good, Ois. That works. All right. Hi, Byron. Give me some nice answers, okay? Mazir's asking about the Duolingo exam, and I saw a couple other students there. So just a quick note about that, Mazir. Duolingo, it's okay. It is not as accepted as the IELTS exam. Only some places and some schools will accept Duolingo. It's a limited exam. So IELTS is still the most accepted exam by universities, workplaces, and for immigration. So if you do decide to do the Duolingo, just be really careful and make sure that you are applying to a place that accepts that exam. Okay, so check with your application to make sure they accept Duolingo. Okay, also keep in mind that if you need to do another application or go somewhere else, they might not accept it and you might still have to do the IELTS exam. Okay, so Duolingo, it's okay as long as it's accepted. Okay, all right, keep that in mind. All right, okay. Najib Alazab says, certainly, this is my passport that I used to register for this exam. Please have a look. Carolina, Chrysolite, Jyoti, welcome. Some more of our members joining in. Good answers, students. Good answers. Yeah, so lots of different ways. Show fluency right away. So some people, when they get asked for their identification, they just say, yes, sure, okay. That's an answer. Yes, sure, and then give them the ID. It's fine. It's not the end of the world, and you can still get a 9, but certainly you have to show your fluency sooner than later, okay? This does not show fluency. Saying, yes, sure, you could be a band 3, 5, 9, I don't know yet, okay? Also, with these questions, technically, the examiner's not really marking you, so might as well use these questions to kind of get comfortable and fluent. Okay, so remind yourselves of fluency. So yes, sure, please have a look at my passport. I used it for registration. Okay, so show fluency. Why not? Okay, they're not going to interrupt you. This is not a really long answer, okay, but you have to be fluent. You can't be like, yes, sure, please have a look. Then they'll go, okay, what's your full name? Okay, they're not going to wait for you to finish. So you have to be fluent when you're giving answers, okay? So make sure you're smooth and fluent here, okay? All right, and then while they have your passport, or because of COVID, sometimes they don't take your passport, you're just holding your passport open, and they're just looking at it, okay? I believe in the computer-based speaking, you show it as you go in, so there's different ways they do it now. Then they'll match your name with who you are. What is your full name? So they'll ask you this, okay? What is your full name? Okay. What is your full name? And have a really nice full sentence answer for this one. Okay. Nick Hill says, my given name is Nick Hill and my family name is Past. Please just call me Nick Hill. Okay, that works. It's good. Maksad Bek says, my full name is Baksudrov Maksad Bek. And what should I call you, Maksad Bek? So if you, as soon as you give your full name, if you don't tell the examiner what to call you, that's usually their next question is they'll say, and what should I call you? Because people have nicknames, people use short versions of their names. They want you to be comfortable. They want to call you by the name that makes you feel comfortable. So the examiners are trained to ask you this question, what should I call you? Okay, and it's a polite question, of course, as well. So Janil says, my given name is Janil and my surname is Gabani. Please just call me Jay for short. That works, Janil. Sure. Often people will abbreviate their names with the first letter of their given name. Okay. Fennel says, my given name is Fennel and my family name is Tamakuala. So just please address me as Fennel. You may address me, Fennel is okay. Usually it depends where you are, but in many English-speaking cultures, when you say you may address me as, it's usually when we're in a higher position, okay? So if I have a new employee and I say, my name is Adrian Benedek, you may address me as Mr. Benedek. Okay, so when we're on equal positions or perhaps a lower position like student examiner or employee employer, then we'll say please call me or please address me as. Okay, it's common practice. All right, yeah, so those are some good answers, students. Let's keep moving along here. So what is your full name? My given names are Thomas David, and my surname is McKinley. Please just call me Tom for short. Okay, so Tom, short for Thomas. If my passport is showing Thomas David McKinley, then I have to give all of my names, including my middle name. It's a good idea. And again, with nice fluency. So what is your full name? My given names are Thomas David, and my surname is McKinley. Please just call me Tom for short. Okay, nice fluency, right away. And then the examiner will likely ask you a couple more questions to get you feeling comfortable. So again, show fluency here. And remember, they want you to be confident. They want you to be comfortable. They don't want you to be scared, okay? When candidates feel scared and nervous, even when the examiners don't show it, it's uncomfortable for them too, okay? Just hopefully this will help you to be confident by thinking about the examiner. So the examiner feels more comfortable and at ease when they feel that you're confident and at ease. Empathy is a good idea. I've never really talked too much about this, but empathizing with the examiner is kind of a good way to be confident also. Just imagine if you're the examiner and you have 20, 30 people come in for an interview from morning until late afternoon, evening, and 15 of them are just so nervous, they're sweating, and think about how you would feel as the examiner. It would be kind of like, geez, I feel terrible. It's like I'm torturing these poor people. So they want you to be comfortable and confident, okay? So think about as if you were the examiner, how difficult it would be to deal with really nervous people all day, okay? So that's kind of a tip, and let me digress on that tip a little bit. Okay, so tip, empathize with your examiner. They don't want to torture you, okay? They want you to be calm and confident. It's difficult for the examiner to ask questions from a dozen or more nervous people each day. Okay? So I know it's kind of a strange thing to say maybe, but if you think about it that way, hopefully you'll be like, yeah, okay, I want this examiner to feel comfortable too, so I'm going to try to be a little bit more confident and calm while I'm talking to them. Okay? All right, everybody got that? Everybody kind of feeling that empathy? Okay, empathy means to feel what the other person's feeling. Everybody's kind of feeling that empathy, yeah? Okay. All right, so the examiner will ask you a question like, why are you taking the IELTS? Okay, and I see a lot of you are looking for that. Yeah, thank you for that. Vishmai says, isn't it torture? Like torture? Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, torture. Okay. Yeah, good correction. So why are you taking the IELTS? I see lots of nice answers. Global Peace Channel says, well, as I plan to study my master's in engineering at the University of Toronto and achieve my future goals, I'm practicing IELTS. Global Peace, not bad. Careful with your grammar, okay? Un says, well, I'm sitting this exam in order to get free entrance to my favorite university, HUCN in Hanoi, without having to take the national entrance exam. Besides that, I want to test my English communication for my future career. Very good, okay? Use the progressive continuous form. If I'm sitting in the IELTS exam right now, then I'm doing the exam right now. So I'm using the ing. I'm sitting the IELTS exam right now in order to get a scholarship to my favorite university. Free entrance is okay on a more specific vocabulary that's better in the context of free education is a full scholarship. Okay, if you're studying under the support of government or some other agency, then and it's 100% free, then it's a full scholarship. If it's only half, like you have to pay a little bit, then it's a partial scholarship. Now this is for everyone, so I'm correcting but this is for everyone. When I make corrections, please speak and repeat, okay? Full scholarship, partial scholarship. I'm studying IELTS to get a full scholarship for my favorite university, HUCN, in Hanoi. As long as I can get a band 7.5 or higher, I meet one of the requirements of this scholarship. Okay? All right, it's a good answer. It's some good information. All right. Prab Noor says, I'm taking the IELTS because it's the only way and the easiest way to go abroad to study and get outstanding education much better than what is available in my city. Okay, Prab, the beginning is okay. You get into some more complex ideas in the second half of your answer. This is Prab Noor. So be careful with that. I had to really reword that second half of what you wrote to make sense. Okay. Fat El Rahman says, well, I'm taking the IELTS exam because I'm planning to study my master's degree in jurisprudence and to enhance my English knowledge. Yeah. Fat, law abroad, okay, or legal studies. It's also called legal studies. It's okay. If you want to be really technical, jurisprudence. Okay, it's the specific noun for a law degree. All right, jurisprudence. Okay, so I'm both planning to study abroad at the University of Victoria in British Columbia, Canada, and I want to prove my outstanding level of English, so I'm doing this exam and hoping to get a band 8 or higher, or 9, since there's only really one way to go there. All right, so as an alumni of the University of Victoria, I have to throw it out there for all of my alumni graduates. Here we go. Repeat after me. Why are you taking IELTS? I'm both planning to study abroad at the University of Victoria in British Columbia, Canada, and I want to prove my outstanding level of English, so I'm doing this exam and hoping to get a band 8 or 9. Fantastic. Okay, confidence. Now I'm using a correlative conjunction, both and. Correlative conjunctions, both and, neither nor, either or, whether or, not only but also. These are powerful, okay, powerful conjunctions. Use them. Use them. If you're not familiar with them, they're called correlative conjunctions, okay? and they're very, very useful to improve your band scores. So use correlative conjunctions to improve your band scores in both speaking and writing as well, okay? Improve your scores. Okay, so make sure to do that. If you're not familiar with correlative conjunctions, there's a lot more on our websites about these in the writing and speaking sections of our course. And of course, you can just Google it and find out lots more also. Okay, let's get to our next warm-up question. And after this question of why are you taking the IELTS, they might ask you something like, what will you do tomorrow? Seems like a simple question, but they're looking for that future tense or that future participle will. Okay, somebody's asking me if all the examiners are native speakers. No, not necessarily. Most of the examiners are native speakers. Some of them are not. Some of them are just very, very high level English users like band 8.5 or 9. Okay? So not all of them are native speakers, and you can have native English, British, Canadian, American, different accents, okay? So be ready for that. New Zealand, depending on where you're taking the exam. All right. Excuse me. Okay, so here we go. Nikhil says, well, after working so hard for my exam tomorrow, I will be, not would be, I'll be relaxing with my friends and hanging out with them. Besides that, I'll invest some time into reading some books. Okay? Sure. Nikhil, careful with your tens. So remember what I said. This question is already kind of testing your ability to speak about the future using going to and will. Okay? So as soon as you hear this will, you're thinking going to and will. Bandita Singh says, tomorrow I'm going to study and play with friends. Okay, Bandita, good start. Low fluency. What are you going to study? What are you going to play? Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to study some more English, review my notes, reflect on my performance in the exam, and then I'm planning to play some cricket with my friends for a couple hours just to relax and get some exercise and fresh air. Bandita, that's fluency. Okay, you got to show fluency, right? Kawal Basatia says, tomorrow I won't be doing anything special. I'll start my day as usual, waking up around 6 o'clock. Then I'll freshen up. And then I'll help my mom do the chores. Okay, Kawal, notice all of my use of will. Tomorrow I won't be doing anything special. Won't be, right? The negative future. Okay? Tomorrow nothing is special. Awkward grammar when talking about the future. So be really, really careful. Paula, our member, says tomorrow I'm going to work at 7 a.m. Because that's my daily schedule from Monday to Friday. Okay, Paula, a little bit more, all right? That's very vague. You want more. So far so good, Paula, but you're not pushing your band score high enough, all right? Okay, so what will you do tomorrow? Tomorrow, I won't be doing anything too strenuous because I'll be exhausted from this exam. So I'm going to just relax, go for a walk, get some fresh air, and likely I'll hang out with some friends and watch a movie. All right. So when you have the question showing you some kind of grammar like will, really start using that grammar. as often as you can. So show grammar, okay? The questions in IELTS are designed with different types of grammar in mind: present perfect, future, conditional, passive, active. So you really want to show that grammar as much as you can, okay? The more you can show it, the more accurately and fluently, the better your band score. So what will you do tomorrow? Tomorrow, I won't be doing anything too strenuous because I'll be exhausted from this exam. So I'm going to just relax, go for a walk, get some fresh air, and likely I'll hang out with some friends and watch a movie. Okay? Recharge my batteries, right? I know many people like using that phrase, and this is a good place to do that. All right, so here's another tip. As soon as you identify the grammar of the question, and in this case you have future participle will, okay, then you must reflect that grammar a couple of times in your response to push your band scores higher. Okay, that's what you want to do. Okay, keep that in mind. And I hope everybody is repeating. Again, make sure you speak and repeat. So this is practice, right? You're speaking and repeating. Okay, here we go. So you're doing a fantastic job. You're feeling calm and confident now. The examiner's feeling a bit better now too, because they can feel that you've calmed down and you're focused and you're not sweating bullets. You're not really nervous. And then the examiner says, let's talk about restaurants. Let's talk a little bit about restaurants. How often do you go to a restaurant? Give me a nice full sentence answer for that one. So, how often do you go to a restaurant? Nice full sentence answer. Okay. For Dobbs says, I frequently go out as I love to eat delicious dishes in an awesome atmosphere and to boost my mood. However, now due to the pandemic, I'm forced to have foods at home. Yeah, for Dobbs, do you have any kind of delivery system? Like here in Europe, there's Volt, and in the US, there's DoorDash. So there's different, these different kinds of delivery systems that deliver from the restaurants. If you can say a little bit about that, that can definitely boost your score, right? Because that's unique and you're expressing yourself. So Oa says, I go to restaurants once per month because there's no restaurants where I live. So usually I have to travel for a few hours from my town to get to an Arabic restaurant. Okay, Oas. Yeah, that's good. I like how you're being really quantitative. So you're telling me that it's just once per month. It's very clear. You can also add the qualitative component, Oas, and you can say rarely. So I rarely go to restaurants, just once per month, because there really aren't any conveniently located near my home. I have to drive for about 3 hours to get to a really nice Arabic restaurant in a neighboring city. Okay. Amanjat says, I usually go to a local restaurant on weekends to get a taste of some new cuisines. While on short holidays, I visit the Far-Flung restaurant with my friends. Okay, Amanjat, that's good. I guess Far-Flung is the name of the restaurant. Yeah, and weekends, it's good. It's qualitative and quantitative in some sense at the same time. Well done. Okay, so qualitative, quantitative language with how often. All right. Faisal says, I'm a food enthusiast and I like to try a variety of different cuisines, but due to the ongoing pandemic and lockdown, I don't really go out to eat anymore. Instead, I prefer home-cooked food. All right, Faisal. Yeah. Anybody know what a kind of a slang way to say food enthusiast is? So what's a slang way to say food enthusiast? Anybody know? See if you come up with the word. Raghav says a gourmand. I'm actually not familiar with that. It's possible. Fennel says foodie. Yeah, there you go. A lot of you are saying foodie. Why? I.e., I don't know. I think it's with a Y, perhaps, but maybe both. Slang. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's a foodie. A person who's a foodie is a food enthusiast. Okay. So, well, prior to the lockdown, I used to go to a restaurant at least twice a week because I'm quite the foodie and it's sort of a hobby of mine. But since the pandemic and all of the ensuing restrictions, I haven't been to a restaurant since the summer. Nevertheless, I do use a delivery service called Volt to order restaurant food to my home about once a week. All right. So again, original answers get band scores. Okay. So you don't have to get too fancy. Make sure you can express yourself, but be original. Here we go. So repeat after me. How often do you go to a restaurant? Well, prior to the lockdown, I used to go to a restaurant at least twice a week because I'm quite the foodie and it's sort of a hobby of mine. But since the pandemic and all of the ensuing restrictions, I haven't been to a restaurant since the summer. Nevertheless, I do use a delivery service called Volt to order restaurant food to my home about once a week. All right. So what do you need to do for high bands? Be original and show dynamic use of grammar. Okay. So when the examiners are testing you on your speaking, and one of the criteria is called grammar range. Okay. So grammar range is one of the unique categories that you get marked on in your speaking section. They're looking to see how dynamic you can be with your grammar as well. So here, notice this habit in the past. I used to do something, okay? And then notice this use of present perfect, and then notice this use of present tense. Okay, so I'm easily shifting between different grammar forms to express my thoughts about the past leading into the present and future, and the present general, okay, for these. So showing dynamic use of grammar is absolutely key. It's not good enough to show different types of grammar only, but you want to show dynamic grammar. Okay, it's called dynamic use of grammar, all right? So you want to do that. All right. Let's go to the next question. And I'm sure I'm breaking many people's hearts here because, yeah, our restaurants are suffering around the world and we really are having a tough time with not being able to use these fantastic venues and eat these foods. So my heart goes out to everybody in the restaurant industry. Here we go. Give me a nice answer for this one. What is your favorite restaurant? So here's your chance to get a little bit of advertising in for your favorite restaurant. Okay, so what is your favorite restaurant? All right. So for Dov says, my number one restaurant is the nearest Italian place, as I can always find awesome food there with different recipes, and they're not as expensive. I mean, they're quite affordable for the majority of people. For Dov, what's the name of that Italian restaurant? Okay, Luigi's Pasta. So give us the name. Okay, all right. Kaustuv Sharma says, my favorite restaurant is KFC. I love the variety of foods there. I've been going there a lot lately. Their service is incredible as well. Kentucky Fried Chicken, the Colonel's secret recipe indeed. Yeah, Kaustuv. Say, I love the chicken. I love how they do the breading there. Okay, all right. Un says, my favorite restaurant is my uncle's restaurant called Duty, which is situated in Hai Ba Trung Street, about 1 kilometer from my home. I go there 2 to 3 times a week to either hang out with friends or for dinner. All right, Un. I hope many people will check out your uncle's restaurant called Duty. Okay. Stuti says, Sign Police is one of my favorite restaurant hubs. They serve very delicious veggies and non-vegetarian meals also. It's fabulous. One of my favorite Chinese dishes there is karim. Okay. All right. Stuti, a little bit confusing exactly what you're expressing there. So think about how you can rephrase that. Nancy Rajput says, although I visit a lot of restaurants, my favorite one is Punjabi Haveli, which generally prepares traditional food of my country, India, and my family and I love to go there. Okay, Nancy, no useless English, okay? Although I visit a plethora of restaurants. I don't want to know about the plethora of restaurants. That's useless. I know you're just saying that hoping to get band scores, but I can't give you band scores for that because too many students are just memorizing, although I do a plethora of. I don't care about that. I care about your favorite restaurant. Don't speak useless template English to the examiner because that will actually hurt your score, okay? And one of the really painful situations for me is when I'm examining a student who is clearly a band 8 and I have to give them a 7.5 because they're using these template kind of phrases like I go to a plethora of, and I'm like, don't do that. I can't. I have to take band scores from you because you're not actually showing me English. You're just showing me what you memorized from the internet. Okay, so be original. That's what I said in the last part, right? Be original. I go to a plethora of restaurants is not original. All right. And I'm not asking you for that. I don't ask you how many restaurants you go to. I'm asking you what's your favorite restaurant. Okay, Mazoon says, my favorite restaurant is called Chili's. I usually go there. I especially love the honey chicken recipe, which is served with ranch sauce. They make it so much more delicious than anywhere else. Mazoon, I love that answer. That's fantastic. So Mazoon is telling me exactly what the favorite restaurant is, telling me what they love about that favorite restaurant and why they love that favorite restaurant. So that's exactly what I'm looking for, okay? What is the place? Why do you love it? Give me details. Sound original. All right. Raghavinder Gout, please stop spamming. It's annoying. It hurts my eyes to see all those red play buttons, okay? All right. Akash says, let's see, where was Akash? Akash says, my favorite restaurant is Chick-fil, a restaurant. This is the first American dominating food chicken restaurant with fully fresh recipes. Okay, Akash, a little bit more clarity, a little bit more fluency. Nadia says, my favorite restaurant is Bamboo Food, where I eat different kinds of foods like continental, Chinese, Italian food like shashlik stick, sizzling are my most favorites. Okay, Nadia, that's good. You're on the right track. Don't get lost in too many ideas as well. Careful with that, okay? Hadi says, my favorite restaurant is a small neighborhood spot. It has relatively a small menu that changes seasonally. The theme is sort of organic, so the food is always fresh and well prepared. I love those types of restaurants, Hadis. Give a little bit more explanation. Okay, so my favorite place to go out to eat is called Blue Fox. It is a breakfast restaurant in downtown Victoria, and they serve the most amazing eggs Benedict. I go there at least once every couple months. All right. So, what is your favorite restaurant? You don't always have to get fancy. Just use the question, my favorite place to go out to eat. Okay? So here I'm keeping the word favorite, and I'm kind of paraphrasing restaurant with go out to eat. So my favorite place to go out to eat is called Blue Fox. It is a breakfast restaurant in downtown Victoria, and they serve the most amazing eggs Benedict. I go there at least once every couple of months. And it's true. If you're ever in Victoria, go to the Blue Fox. You have to sometimes wait in line. It's quite a busy place, but not these days, I'm sure. And they have really good breakfast food. Okay. Next question. When do you like going to restaurants? Okay, so fairly easy questions for part one, but again, you have to show your fluency. Even if the question's easy, you have to show fluency. Janelle, the name of the food is Eggs Benedict. Okay, if you type that into Google, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's a very, very delicious breakfast food. All right. Ois says, perfect time I like to go to restaurants is in the summer, especially at night. I get there around 8 p.m. and return home at 11 and spend a lovely time with my friends, eating Arabic food and listening to amazing music. Ois, that's brilliant. Okay, I made a couple of corrections there, and it's really good. All right, I'll take one more. Okay. Let's see. So, Kaustuv Sharma. I like going to restaurants during my holidays. I don't have any work deadlines at the back of my head, and I can enjoy food for a longer period of time. Very good, Kaustuv. That's a great answer. Okay. All right. Lakshmi says, one of my favorites is Neela Restaurant. Okay, that's for the previous, right? Messiuz TV, Rasmia Kanal says, honestly speaking, my favorite would be determined by diverse situations, like for specifically birthdays or anniversaries. As long as I have no extra work, then it's almost certain that I have time to go and eat out at some place. Okay, Messiuz TV. Not a bad answer. Made a couple of corrections there. Pay attention to that. Okay. So I especially like going out to eat when I have plenty of time to spend with my friends and family, such as on weekends and holidays, and I'm not stressing about work deadlines. In fact, I had a really relaxing time in the summer on my birthday, which happened to be on a Saturday, enjoying Italian food with family and friends at a famous place called Luigi's. I've spelled that wrong, but anyway, here we go. So repeat after me. When do you like going to restaurants? I especially like going out to eat when I have plenty of time to spend with friends and family, such as on weekends and holidays, and I'm not stressing about work deadlines. In fact, I had a really relaxing time in the summer on my birthday, which happened to be on a Saturday, enjoying Italian food with family and friends at a famous place called Luigi's. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to jump a few questions here, and I'm going to go right to this last one because I really want to see your answers. I'm very curious about it. Here we go. This is a conditional question, so it's an if-then question. Make sure you use the conditional in its fullest form here, okay? Use the full form of the conditional. If you could own a restaurant, going into the restaurant business could be tricky right now, although by summer it could be a good idea. Lots of market space. If you could own a restaurant, what kind of food would it serve and why? So if you could own a restaurant, what kind of food would it serve and why? Okay, so jumping some questions here. While you're thinking about your answer, Paula says, I'm fond of going to restaurants on Sundays because it's my day off and I don't like to cook on the weekends. I prefer to go out and eat with my husband. Especially I like to go to restaurants near the beach. Paula, that's a great answer for the previous questions. Okay. All right, so I know I threw a little bit of a curveball at you here because if you were preparing for the other questions, then now you have to rethink it. And I like to do this because remember, the speaking section is not the same as typing in the chat. You have to think in real time. You have to answer in real time. So it's okay if you're thinking ahead in these classes. That's valuable learning. But also try to think in real time and answer in real time also. Okay? All right. So Anna says, if I had my way to run a food business, I would choose an Italian restaurant because I'm fond of Italian cuisine. And Anna, what would you serve? Would it be just pizza or would you do lasagnas, spaghettis, paninis? Okay, what kind of Italian foods would your restaurant serve? Okay, Alfredo. All right, lots of great different kinds of Italian food out there. Deepak Shah says, if I owned a restaurant, most probably it would be fast food that I served at my hotel because this is a contemporary era where people prefer fast food like momo and chow mein rather than complex dishes. Okay, Deepak, good. I made a couple corrections there. Pay attention to it. I cannot read the Chinese characters, but I will read your comment. If I had a chance to run a restaurant, I would probably sell authentic Chinese delicacies because of the great tastes of the ancient Chinese recipes that everybody in the world loves. Okay, it's not bad. When you say Chinese cuisines or Chinese food, there are a lot of different types, so try to be a little bit more specific. So would you serve Szechuan? Would you serve Canton cuisine or something completely different? I know that there are some really unique types of regions that serve different kinds of noodles in China, so try to be a little bit more specific. Saying Chinese cuisine is kind of like saying European cuisine. There's a lot of different types of European cuisines. Okay, so starting by saying Chinese food, specifically Szechuan, that would be better. Okay, so use your lexical resource. All right. Rajveer says, given a chance to own my own restaurant, I would definitely serve North and South Indian dishes to support the diversity and unify the attitude of people in my country. Okay, Rajveer, good. Can you give me an example of a couple of dishes? All right. So what kind of food would it serve? You want to get a little bit specific there. Okay. So given a chance to run my own restaurant, I would love to open a fine dining Japanese establishment that would serve not only sushi, but also ramen and other famous Japanese dishes. I think that Japanese food is both popular and healthy. So it would be profitable and a place I could be proud to call my own. All right. So here is my answer. Again, repeat after me. Speaking, notice all of the grammar, correlative conjunctions, vocabulary here. If you could own a restaurant, what kind of food would it serve? Given a chance to run my own restaurant, I would love to open a fine dining Japanese establishment that would serve not only sushi, but also ramen and other famous Japanese dishes. I think that Japanese food is both popular and healthy, so it would be profitable and a place I could be proud to call my own. All right, and that's true. I probably would open a Japanese restaurant for those reasons. Okay, everyone, here's a few questions that we missed. Do you prefer to eat in restaurants or at home? Do you like fast food restaurants? Why or why not? How have restaurant services changed in the past 20 years? You can try those questions on your own, or you can try it with speaking partners on our website. Remember what I said at the beginning of this class, that you can find speaking partners around the world and do video, audio chat on our websites, aehelp.com, glshelp.com. You just need to create an account, okay? It's worth it. Okay, everyone. So if you like this lesson, you can visit our websites, aehelp.com and glshelp.com. You can click this big red button or this one to join the premium package. For the general IELTS, same idea, green background, glshelp.com. Click right there. You're very welcome, Paula, Rashika, Nikhil. Good to see our members. You're very welcome, everyone. Hopefully, I will see you back here tomorrow for some more IELTS with me. Keep up the good studies, everyone. English is the language to open opportunities and doors, so never give up. Keep pushing forward and learn to communicate with the world. Much love to all of you. I look forward to being back here tomorrow and helping you further. Bye for now. I'm Adrian, signing out from Budapest.